Okay. We're doing two podcasts for our group this week because we couldn't meet at the same time. So this is group one's part one, I guess. Okay, Taylor McMillan's here.
And I am Giselle Prescott.
Awesome. Okay, let's just get started. You read the book, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, let's just do the first question then. Having completed the book, how is your understanding and perception increased in the process of international policy and law? Well, I don't really know if he was out of the country the whole time. So I guess it would be international, but I guess I didn't know that they all got together at all the countries and they had seminars basically seminars to decide laws like that. I guess it would make sense since that's how our government does it, but I just don't pay attention very well, I guess. What did you think of it?
Um, I wasn't very surprised about it. I don't know, maybe because I do have a few lawyers around me, so maybe that gave me a better idea of how dirty it can get and how difficult it is to come to a consensus. And just from seeing how hard it is at a national level to get a consensus, it's going to be even more difficult when you take all cultures into account, because everybody is going to have different priorities.
Oh, definitely. I completely agree with you. It's insane. I could not believe that it took them 2 weeks to come to a consensus on that topic. I mean, maybe they were talking about more things too, but that I just couldn't believe there were so many people who didn't agree with it. I thought that it was about 50-50, or even I thought we were still on the brink of more people wanting families, but not much more, but a little bit more. And I couldn't believe that there were so many more people that didn't want families.
Well, you know what I felt though? I felt more like the people that didn't want families were just louder and ruder than those that did. I don't necessarily feel that they were like that many more that are against families, but just that they're more aggressive about it. Maybe.
That's probably true because, I mean, the women's caucus was just one group. So that's true. And they were very loud.
Yeah, and they were like making rude comments about him, what he was doing, and everything.
Yeah.
Just things that, well, like I wouldn't think of doing, in
Right.
an environment like that anyway. Maybe in a different kind of environment I could get rude, but there I would be very observant and very careful with what I do and what I say.
Definitely. Okay, let's do again. What role did you see the Lord played in Professor Williams' efforts to advocate for the families of the world? What lessons did you learn through your own efforts? Um, I feel like the Lord just guided him to his wife, like in different ways, with his wife and through other people by showing their support first off. And like when I think the Arabian guy came up to him and said, "Finally, we have you," like finally someone's voicing this in a strong way. And I feel like that's the Lord. Like I feel like he needed to hear those things, and the Lord was showing him that. I also feel like he was guided because he even said a couple times he literally opened his mouth and things came out that he had no idea were gonna come out. So
Well, for me, it's like it started with Susan, telling him you need to do something. And usually, when somebody comes up and tells you need to do something, you're like, well, what am I gonna do? you know. And then after Susan, the wife telling him, I think you should help with this. And I think that wife was very important in the sense that it was her support, it was her comfort, it was everything that he needed, because she didn't say, oh, you stay home, we had planned this outing. I probably would have been like that. Well, what's more important, me or them? But no, she had her priorities straight, and she knew that what he was going to do was going to be very important, and so she um, gave him the push out the door that he should do it. And then the Englishman, that went to back and asked them if they were members of the church after he read the pamphlet and stuff. And they were like, yes. And then he nominated, some, what's his name? Oh, and that book, Richard. He nominated Richard to speak and all that. I mean, that is the hand of the Lord right there, guiding like every single step. And yes, then the Arab guy that stood up, and the lady from, where was she? Somewhere in Africa, I think she was, that stood up in the end, and she was like, I thought we were gonna hear different things. Why am I only hearing, what did she call it? Lesbian feminism stuff, something along those lines, And I thought, I read that line and I just started laughing, because, I mean, the guts she had to stand up and be like, you promised me that I would hear different things, so deliver. Don't try to brainwash me into what you say is right. I know there's different people out there with different views, so give them to me. And thanks to her, then the Muslim girl spoke about her experience, and he was able to speak too. So yeah, all those little people just standing up for what is right, just having that courage. I think that has a lot to do with the Lord being able to, what do you call it? To helping us being able to make things come to pass.
Awesome. Okay. I'm just going to post the question on the side. Okay. I guess if we just read it. What important supporting roles did you see others playing in this account? I think I already said this, and you said this a lot too, but I think that the wife played a big role and a lot of the other people. But I also feel like in some ways, and this might sound bad, but in some ways, even though they probably were supporting, it was like, how the woman's caucus was just so awful to him. I felt like because of how they acted towards him, he wanted to fight even harder for the cause. So that was what I thought.
Well, I think I already talked about that a lot, so.
I do too. Okay, then let's just do the next one. Let me post it. Ponder your readings from the Sacred Duty. What are some consequences and risks of minimizing or eliminating family and religion from public policy? I feel like if we eliminated family and religion, the world would fall apart, because that is what the Constitution is based off of right now, is the family to a point. And our government would go to pieces. Like, that would be the second coming. So.
Yes, I felt something like that too, that would be outrageous, and that, yes, then the Lord would really come and set things straight. But I was thinking a lot, because I have an adoptive daughter, and it was a long process and whatever, but she came from the foster system, and I just kept thinking, it's like, okay, if families are not needed, then why do the most family scientists, try to place kids with families. Why don't they live in orphanages? If all you need is that kind of institution, then if that was the case, then kids that come out from orphanages would fare better than kids that come out from families. But we see that that is not true. We see that families are needed, and usually families can find a lot of strength from the support of a church.
Yeah.
That's where they find a lot of support to be able to do all that they need to do. I live in California, and in an area where my ward covers like 7 towns. Okay, so I am very blessed that I have 2 families that are members of the church right next to me.
So true.
And we are a support to one another when something comes up. We can all help each other, and it is nice. And yes, families need the extra support. And when I was applying for adoption, they told us that they wanted to see that we had some kind of support system near us, to be able to take that child in that will help us and all these. They were like, yes, parents are very important, but the support of those parents is immense as well. It makes a big difference too. So if you take out the families, you take out the whole society, and it's chaos. And Satan knows that, and that's why he is attacking them as much as he can.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I completely agree with you. Okay, last question. What do you think we can do about it? Does the author implicity or explicitly make realistic suggestions for ordinary citizens as well as position of power and influence? I just feel like when he said, like the Arabian guy was talking to Richard and said, you finally are here. I feel like we need to be the people that are here. We need to be the people that are standing up for what we believe. And sometimes it's just easier to just live your own life and not get involved with things like that. But I feel like it's very, very important. Just like I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, I think her name was Lisa, the video we had to watch. I feel like that has a lot to do with this too, because we just need to take a stand and be an example to those around us. And I feel like that alone, as ordinary citizens, that is huge. But we also need to vote for the people we want and not just blow it off. And we need to tell the people, like, we need to attend city council meetings, and we need to attend things that are going to show our support in the system so that they know that we care about certain topics. That's what I thought.
And we can help educate others, about what is going on, because I think most of the people have no idea. Like, I honestly, yes, I knew the family was being attacked and that it was free and whatever, but I didn't realize to what extent. Like, there was a view that is like, that one would think is completely exaggerated, but it is still true. I thought there was still a bit more of respect for families out there, but apparently not. Apparently they're really trying to bring them down, and then with what I read about the women's caucus, that men can be trusted to do all this work, I was like, man, that is horrible. I'm not saying leave it all to the men. I am sure we as women can do much too, but we cannot say that we're better than them, and we don't need them. So we also have to, on our way as moms, we can raise our sons to be doers, to be better, to realize what's happening around them. And the best thing to do that is by being an example and being proactive in trying to bring about this to a light, I guess.
I completely agree with you. Is there anything else you want to say?
No, not really. I think I said it all, and it was a really good book. I got it done fast. I was happy I read it.
Yeah, I thought it was actually a really good book. So, okay, I'll do the summary then.
Okay.
Okay, so in conclusion, since there was only two of us, it was really easy. But we basically said that we need to take a stand and we need to understand what's going on in our communities. We really enjoyed the book, and we are going to be a better example in our community. So that's it.
All right. Have a nice day, Taylor.
See you next week. Bye.
Okay. Bye.